Hello and welcome to the Dharma.life podcast. I am your host, Aloise.life, and every week I share a video with you about how you can move from 3D to 5D and build a life in alignment with your soul. And this week we are talking about why you need to heal and what your dis-ease is sharing with you and showing you that you need to be aware of and take action on. So in this episode, I am going to be diving deep into disease, and I'm going to be sharing with you a 3-step process that I've developed to help you basically manage any disease that you are dealing with. I'm also going to be explaining to you how your disease is showing you exactly where you are out of balance, actually how it's a gift. And then I'm going to be talking you through about what you need to do to put yourself back into balance and why it's so important to be in balance. So if you haven't already, please do subscribe to my channel. I release videos every single week, and all of the videos are all about how you can move from 3D to 5D. So what is your dis-ease telling you about your life? Well, I'm going to start off by sharing with you a very personal story. I think it's really important to lead from the front. So you'll find with me, I do share a lot about my own experience, but that's because these are the things that have taught me the most. We totally learn from our own experiences. And I have to say, recovering from this recent health condition has been so eye-opening for me that I really want to share it with you. So some of you may or may not know, depends on how much you follow me, but I was struggling with Candida. I realized I had stage 2 Candida. And for those of you that don't know, basically Candida live in your gut. And if you have gut problems, I actually had a leaky gut. The Candida had got into my body. And Candida's like a sort of little parasite almost. It lives in your gut and it eats food and it lives on like unhealthy things like sugar. And unfortunately for me, from my alcohol days, I had a leaky gut and that Candida had got into my bloodstream, and I actually was struggling with Candida type 2. And that creates things like brain fog. I was having stiff joints. This all happened in lockdown. This is going to give you the time frame. I was having stiff joints. I was kind of feeling sluggish. I was feeling tired. I was a sugar maniac. And I started to look into what Candida is all about. I just want to share that with you because I think it's really, really interesting. So basically, whenever we have any form of dis-ease, it is showing us where we are out of balance. And we are designed as human beings to be in balance. So if you imagine X marks the spot, X is all about balance. And for us to be in balance, it helps us open our energy centers. It helps us go through this spiritual evolutionary process. We are designed to be in balance. So we are always being shown where we are out of balance through experiences that cause us pain in our pain body. Now, this can include dis-ease. The clue's in the word, dis-ease. So if you are struggling or suffering with something, anxiety, depression, it could be migraines, it could be tinnitus, you name it, it's showing you what you're not doing. It's a gift. But not many people realize this. Now, Western medicine is taught to basically not clear the root. It basically gives you some type of form of medicine to try and help whatever it is that is wrong. Eastern philosophy is much more about an overall sense of well-being and keeping the individual in balance. Now, what I learned from having Candida was that these were the things I was struggling with. I had something that was eating me away inside. I wasn't in contact with my inner strength and resilience, and I needed to regain my stability. Now, I'll share with you what happened. Candida is all about being pissed off in relationships. And I was very annoyed at my partner. My partner and I have been been together 7 years, and we've been married for 4 years. And when we first got together, I said very clearly with my partner, I really wanted to have children, and we were very loved up. And if you imagine, we had 7 lifetimes together. That was not our first lifetime. We'd been married for 7 lifetimes. And so when we first met, it was like this amazing connection. and still is an amazing connection. And, we kind of fell fast in love, moved in together very quickly. And then we got engaged and married. And after that, it started to come to light that my partner wasn't so keen on having children. And to say that I was pissed off is an understatement. And I was really annoyed and frustrated at him. Now, luckily for me, I understand the Akashic records, and I was able to look in the Akashic records. Now, he has karma, past life karma, and also vows of silence, which were stopping him speaking his truth. And he's had past life experiences around children that meant he wasn't so keen on them. So luckily for me, it enabled me to understand why I was attracting this situation. I had also lost a child in childbirth in a past life, and that meant that I had also made a commitment that I did not want to have any more in the future lives. So understanding all of that stuff was quite helpful. But at the end of the day, in this world, in this lifetime, in this reality, I was struggling with Candida, and it was because I was annoyed. And those feelings were causing me to be off balance. They were causing me to be out of sync with myself. And then that manifested in a physical form with Candida. So everything works like this. Tonsillitis, we did a community call in our Dharma.life community recently. And I asked people to put their hands up if they'd suffered with tonsillitis. So many people put their hands up, myself included. As a child, I got tonsillitis all the time. Tonsillitis is very much around not speaking your truth or not being able to express your emotions. And most children can't with their parents, was if they've got overbearing parents. So you get the idea. Breast cancer is all about the person not being able to honor themselves. They're basically looking outside of themselves as really supporting everybody else and not helping themselves. So every single thing is showing us and telling us something. So your dis-ease is showing you where you are not at ease. Basically, it's as simple as that. And it sounds really simple, but most people don't understand it and don't get it. If you are anxious, you're living in the future, you're not in the present, you're worried about stuff that hasn't even happened yet. If you are depressed, you are living in the past, you are reliving all of those moments. And that's how it physically manifests, it shows up. So really, really important that you guys understand this stuff, because the universe is incredible. It is amazing. It really is showing us all the time. It's speaking to us. It's communicating us with us. It's talking to us, and it's helping us go through the spiritual evolutionary process. It wants us to be in balance. It wants us to rise. And when we're not in balance, when we're maybe out of sync with ourselves, we're not speaking our truth, or run down, or we're out of sync or out of whack, we'll attract people, places, or situations to show us that. So it's really, really important that you guys take a look at yourself and also understand that you can heal yourself. Our body can totally heal itself. And once we shift our consciousness, we can totally heal itself. We do not need Western medicine. We can do it ourselves. So I went through a process of understanding about my Candida, and then I decided to get rid of it. So I did a cleanse. Basically, that meant that Candida couldn't survive within my body. So I was cleansing. I changed my diet. I worked on myself so I wasn't pissed off and I wasn't annoyed. And as I said, it was the biggest blessing and biggest gift, because it enabled me to really do more work in the Akashics, which showed me where I potentially was blocked around having children as well. So it was an absolute blessing. Remember, your challenges for opportunities for growth. If you can really embrace that as a mantra, you are being pushed to evolve. So your challenges are really opportunities for you to evolve and grow. And because of this challenge that I went through, my hero's journey, I was able to expand and grow and shift my consciousness. And then I've gone into the records even deeper. So I want you to have a think about what challenges, it could be health challenges that you are really dealing with now. That dis-ease is showing you something. It's very easy. There's people like Louise Hay's books that you can go and look at. Deb Shapiro's The Body Speaks Your Mind is a very good book that you can go and look at. You can just Google it. You can just put it into Google and you will find whatever it is that you're struggling with. Now, there's a 3-step process that I want to give you, because it's totally possible for us to cure our stuff. So for me, what I did is, first of all, I started to understand what was causing the Candida, right? So you have to see where you're out of balance. So that is the first thing that you need to do. You You need to understand what is causing your condition, what is causing you to be out of balance. You can research that. You can go on Google. It's all there, right? It's in plain sight. It's just hidden in front of our eyes like normal. Go and research it. Now, you have to feel it to heal it. This is so true. You would write about what you are feeling and what you're experiencing and what you're learning. Whenever you go through a challenge, you really want to look at what it's teaching you and what you're learning. And as I said, in my case, it really pushed me to evolve and grow and understand why I was struggling with those in those areas. Luckily for me, I can access the Akashic records. But once I understood, my husband had a real problem speaking his truth because he had a vow of silence from a past life. So he couldn't speak up, and having had 7 lifetimes together, it was a very strong connection for us to be together in this lifetime to basically clear the issues and problems that we hadn't cleared in past lives. So the other thing to be aware of is a lot of what you're dealing with in this lifetime is a karmic situation, probably from a past life. So someone like me, or learning to do the Akashic records, is very helpful because we can give you context. Often I deal with very complicated people and cases. If someone's got a problem and they're experiencing a really big problem, the chances are that they've experienced that problem in a past life. Now, the good news is that if you've got something, like I said, fertility was a very big issue for me. And utilizing the past life to clear the karma is very, very powerful. Now, I'm not pregnant, but I know my child is close. So use this process. 1, find where you're out of balance. 2, start to write, journal, feel it to heal it. 3, you really want to maybe have a think about whether this is a past life issue. I often find when I do work with people around health conditions and health challenges, or any challenge, to be honest with you, that they are dealing with something that is a past life problem or issue. And consequently, because we've dealt with it in a past life, we're having to deal with it again in this life. Now, you can absolutely usually deal with your past life karma through purely being virtuous, but in some cases, it is helpful to then clear those karmic blocks that you are experiencing. And that's where I come in. That's how I can help you guys, or other Akashic readers can help you guys. Because once you clear the karma in the past life, it means you don't have a disposition or like a weakness for it. I had problems with my shoulder, with my knees. I was stabbed in my past life with my shoulder, and I was experiencing shoulder problems, even though I'd never done anything to my shoulder in this life. Now, then what you would do is you'd have a 3 kind of pronged attack, which you would clear the karma in the past life causing the problem. And then you would do something in the physical exercises to then basically help repair whatever it is that you're trying to do. So I know it's not so easy to do the past life bits and bobs, but you can absolutely do the first 2 stages. And if you need support, that's where I can help you in the past life area. But I just wanted to give you this concept and this idea that everything really is showing us where we're out of balance. We are designed to be in balance all the time. We are designed to come here, evolve and grow. If you're stuck, if you're not evolving, if you're not growing, if you are out of balance in some way, shape or form, your body is showing you. And it's your responsibility to be awake enough and aware enough to dive in and do the work to heal yourself. We do not have to rely on people outside of ourselves. I've managed to cure my Candida, and the jury's out about the fertility, but watch this space. So I hope that was helpful, really, really helpful. I wanted to share my personal story with you guys. Let me know in the comments what you got from this episode. As I said, our community is now open. We changed our model slightly. So the academy is going to open every 6 months, and then the community is open all year round. So if you want to come and do this type of work where you kind of understand this work at a deeper level, with me giving you a training once a month and a task every month, come and join our beautiful community. It's £37 a month, about $50 a month. And you'll get to join a beautiful community of light workers. So you beautiful beings, lovely to see you. And I will see you on the next episode of the Dharma Life podcast. Thank you so much for listening to the Dharma Life podcast. I do hope you enjoyed this episode. Please come over and say hello on my Instagram, our Facebook group. And also, please let me know what you thought. So if you are listening, please take a screenshot of the podcast that you are listening to. tag me on Instagram and I will reshare your post. And please let me know what it is that you got out of today's episode. Remember, when we do our Dharma, we are happier, healthier, we live longer, and we have a deep sense of unshakable inner peace.